I should change that. I need to fix that music, basically. Hello everybody. Oh, let me pause that. Let me stop that music. Stop that music, white boy. That's you don't want to play that music, white boy. Oh no. No how, no way. You want to stop that funky music. Brandon Cruz. That's right, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your standalone host, Brandon. I gotta move my my OBS. That way I can see myself. That way I can feel like it's right near the camera, because I just have a bad habit of looking at myself and not the camera. So if I'm looking at anything but you, the audience, then I'm wrong. Otherwise I'm doing this. I'm like, ooh, look at that. Oh, Brandon, you were just the cutest. You were just a cute little drop of beans. They say that. I think my grandma says that about me. You're just a cute little drop of beans. Welcome. Travis. You Jugglemino in the chat. This is one for the ages. One for the angels, so to speak. I didn't recognize you. I saw O, and the first thing I thought was, oh, Matt has joined the chat right away, which is great. But no, it's you. But your font is very, very dark, and I have dark mode on all my web windows, and so therefore I can't see your name. So thanks for dropping in, Mr. Dom Cobb. Of course, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. You're here for brackets. You're here to talk about brackets, and I'm here to talk to you about brackets. But before we do that, we actually have to get into the show itself, right? No, that's something that has to happen. And I haven't started recording yet, which is a special treat for anyone paying attention. I should, let me play that music again, and that way we could just chill, right? It's a good mix. It's a good mix when we're just hanging out. Okay, all right, okay, I can feel it. I should get like a little DJ stand. Is what I should do. Oh, bye, Travis. You finally made it away from Target. That's fantastic. I think I do this like 4 or 5 different times. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna wait. We don't need to wait around. I will. Oh yeah, I'll stop that. I won't wait around. It's time to do some podcasting. So let me put this piece of paper over here because it's bothering me. And let's get it started. Let me record. Do a little bit of recording. Boom! I started it. We'll see how my Mac is doing as far as memory being used. It's probably not super thrilled with me. Last couple days has not been thrilled with me for doing a lot of shit with it at the same time. And chickadee check, we're good to go. It is now time for us to get started with Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast. First things first. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. I didn't even write an intro yet, so we'll see how this goes.
You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Coming to you live from a world where Brandon still never met Travis. That's right. Travis is not in the picture at all. It's just you, me, and Rick and Morty makes 3. That's right. It's us 3 on Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty and Brandon It's Little Bits Podcast. Oh, yes. It is time for another podcast with just Brandon, his vodka tonics, and extra vodka tonic to the side. There's lots of ice. I think I'm going to let it melt first, and then I'll start having some more sips. And I have specially designed breaks to be within the body of the episode. The whole 30-40 minutes, however long this is going to be, so I can take a drink. So I just want you to know that as I get into the show itself. But before we get into the show itself, there are a few things that we have to do. Travis isn't here. That's right. For all intents and purposes, he doesn't exist. But if he were here, if he did exist, he would say, "Oh, we got some, general housekeeping things to get out of the way. So let's do it. Let's do it in honor of the memory of him that doesn't exist." Social media. Look, if you want to get hold of us on the podcast, a few ways you can do that. Of course, we are at twitter.com/Rick and Morty pod. Hey, go ahead, go to the site right now. If you're listening to an app, if you're driving, pull over. Stop, if you're waiting in line at Starbucks or maybe a McDonald's, maybe you're looking to get a McFlurry. I think they have McFlurries in the morning. They should, if they don't, because a breakfast ice cream, there's nothing finer than a breakfast ice cream, especially if there's M&Ms. I'm not a fan of M&Ms in my McFlurry. I actually eat around the M&Ms. Okay. Anyways, then follow us on Rick and Morty at rickandmortypod.com. Twitter.com/Rick and Morty pod. Facebook.com/Rick and Morty podcast. You can go there. Get some algorithms out of the way with some Facebook. Rick and Morty podcast at gmail.com. If you are in the way of the electronic mail that I've heard so much about in the last 5-10 years, it's incredible. It's incredible how quickly we've adopted email as a primary means of communication. If you want to check us out, we have a subreddit, rickandmortypodcast.reddit.com. Please go out there, leave some posts other than hawking some shirts. Again, I mentioned this last week. Shirts are great. Lots of cool designs. But unfortunately, we're not, we cannot support. I mean, we could support pirated goods, but officially, although we're not official, it doesn't matter. Anyways, hey, good job on all the shirts. You can go to the official subreddit, which is rickandmorty.reddit.com. There are over 2 million fellow fans out there. Please go out there. Be part of the silent elite that is the Rick and Morty podcast Redditors. And finally, our website, rickandmortypod.com, where you can find this episode and more at our website. We are streaming live tonight, as we are always streaming live. And I say we, the collective we, all of us, you, me, the tree, Rick and Morty, twitch.tv/apathetic enthusiasm, where we sometimes play video games. We do this podcast. We do Apathetic Enthusiasm. And eventually I will do some episodes of Submit for Your Approval. I'm very, very slow, and I apologize to everybody who I've recorded with and have not released the episode. And then finally, tpublic.com/stores/interdimensional RSS. If you want to buy some merchandise and also support the show. It doesn't have to be our merchandise. I actually bought a shirt from Rob Schraub with a picture of a squirrel and a skull that says, "Hey, it could happen." And then finally, patreon.com/Rick and Morty pod, or Apathetic Enthusiasm. Again, we got to change that. Okay. That is it. That is it for the housekeeping. And this is the time that I want to introduce what we call on this show semi-pertinent news. News. News, N-E-W-S, 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 it's news, semi-pertinent news, N-E-W-S, there was a song by Bay City Rollers called Saturday Night, and it's like S-A-T-U-R-D-A-Y, night. And I thought as I was driving home, why aren't there more songs where they spell out one word of the chorus? I think they should have it. Do more of that. I feel like that's a lost art. It's a spelling song. The last spelling song I remember, which was a disappointment, was the cover of Behind Blue Eyes, where Limp Bizkit just spells out Limp Bizkit. I thought that was disappointing. Anyway, hey, so semi-pertinent news this week. Really, everything is semi-pertinent news. And with me in charge of the podcast, there's no different. I will get right to it. The first thing that we have up is it's a little something we call solar opposites. Solar opposites, as you know, is back. It is back. It is on Hulu. It's season 2. All your favorite alien characters are there, voiced by Justin Roiland, Middleditch, and then a couple other folks. It is. I watched the first episode of the second season. I don't know exactly what it is, but I liked this first episode of the second season. Those characters much more already. Maybe it was the distance, the amount of time in between last season, which was last year, that let me kind of reflect on those characters and enjoy them more. But I really enjoyed the first episode. Didn't watch another episode yet. I do plan on finishing the second season. They're already slated for a third season, which was pretty cool news. So if you have Hulu, go out there, check it out. And then wait for season 5 of Rick and Morty. Eventually, we'll probably get to the Greek god show from Dan Harmon much sooner than that. That was the first bit of semi-pertinent news. Congratulations to us, everybody. All right, not much in the way of other semi-perts. What I'm gonna say instead is I'm gonna jump straight to the Reddit post of the week. In it's something I introduced not too long ago. Basically, we have all those fans out there in Reddit of Rick and Morty. There are some really good things that folks are pushing out there. All right, this one is no different. There's lots of shit posts and memes that are being made. This meme was pushed out by Mr. Ayush Garg. Ayush Garg. Yep. With over 24,000 upvotes. His post is, "That's how we learn." And it is a picture, it is a meme of sleeping Morty in his bed, and then a picture right next to it, Morty waking up, and he's got the really tired eyes, like, "Oh, why are you waking me up?" And above it, the quotation is, "Introverts realizing how they could have won an argument 4 years ago." And it's no wonder that this shitpost gets over 24,000 upvotes. I wonder how many of those folks are actually introverts. And well, actually, one of the top comments is oh no, not one of the top comments. Sorry, some of the user reports. 2, low effort. Number 1, it's involuntary pornography, and I do not appear in it. I don't know that one. But the one I like is, does OP know what an introvert even is? That is optimal Reddit user reporting there. I don't know if this person knows what an introvert is, but I think generally that's how lots of people are. They walk away from a situation and be like, "Ah, if only I told him that his face looked like a butt. Could have won it. Could have won that argument hands down." I know that. I mean, that's my go-to insult. Even if they didn't even say anything about faces or butts, I always insult them that way. I recommend it. Actually, my recommendation for insulting somebody back is you come back with whatever they said. Just say, "Your face is that." So it's like, "You're an idiot. Like, your face is an idiot." Okay, yeah, real mature. Yeah, your face is real mature. I swear it works. It diffuses the situation. And then you become longtime best friends, which is how Travis and I started this podcast. Oh, he doesn't exist, but he does. All right. That is that for Reddit post of the week. Again, Mr. Ayush guy was the or Garg was the proprietor of that information. Okay, next up is a segment that usually we have music for, and I'm going to make some music now, just real quick. I won't throw it off. It is a Dan Harmon social media minute. Dan Harmon social media minute. Yes, it is a Dan Harmon social media minute brought to you by Men in Black. In this week, we have I didn't want to pull video from Dan Harmon's Instagram. He had a couple different posts this last week or so. Lots some video. There was one where his new puppy is just eating his beard, which I don't know why but it grossed me the hell out. It was just, I don't know, it's just disgusting. I love dogs, I love puppies, but something about like it was like grabbing onto. I see my dog like chewing up toys. I don't know, whatever. But I didn't go with that one. What I did instead was Harmon had a picture of his dog, like belly up, snarling mouth agape. You don't see its eyes. You just see its snarling mouth. And then right next to that is a xenomorph, a chest burster from the Alien series, and it looks pretty spot on. They both look like an alien. One isn't an alien conceptually, and the other is a dog. But for those on Twitch, I'm highlighting really the similarities here. Both gaping, some saliva dripping. It is uncanny. Go ahead and head out to Harmon's Instagram for more of that if you're so inclined or so interested. But that is it for Dan Harmon's Social Media Minute. Thank you for listening to that piece. I really enjoyed it. All right, back to Brandon. Back to Brandon. We talked about semi-permanent news. I want to go into the next segment of our show, and I think this episode is going to be much shorter, which I'm actually happy about. But first, let's get into what we call the main thing. The main thing. The main thing. It's the main thing. It's the main thing. It is the main thing here on Interdimensional RSS. This week, we saw the end of the Rick and Morty secondary character bracket. And the secondary character bracket, something sponsored by PS5. It was on the Rick and Morty Instagram page. What they would have you do in their stories, you can vote on who you thought would win a match, and they basically, to coincide with March Madness, they put this together. Lots of secondary characters, some that I would have liked to have seen, and we can get into that in a little bit, I think. But it went on for like a week and a half and a little bit of change, and then the winner was supposed to be announced live on Adult Swim at 10 p.m. Eastern on the 26th of March. And what ended up happening was we knew who the winner was not even Friday night. So with that in mind, we're like, okay, well, maybe something cool will happen on Friday night. Did it happen? Well, I will tell you that nothing happened. But I'll tell you what happened here in a minute. After we get into the bracket, so I'm going to pull up the bracket here for our Twitch watchers. And basically, we had a slew of secondary characters. The first, so I'm going to break them up into 4 different segments. You got the northwest, you got the southwest, you got the northeast, and the southeast. We'll just stick with that. The northwest had Bird Person versus Photography Raptor. It had Gazorp Field versus Antimaz Johnson. You had Butter Robot versus Unity. Scary Terry versus Aberdolf Linkler. Okay, let's go over this bracket real quick. My bracket, I was pretty good. I went about it 2 ways. I had what I thought the fans would like, and then what I thought power-wise folks would like. If Bird Person versus Photography Raptor actually happened, who would win in that fight? I will tell you that neither way did I get the ultimate bracket. I thought I had through the power of hindsight, I thought that I had everybody winning, but then I relooked at what I wrote down, and I didn't pick all the right answers. But so starting off with Bird Person versus Photography Raptor, Bird Person easily won. He easily advanced to the next bracket. Gazorp Field versus Antimaz Johnson. Antimaz Johnson, he eked out a victory on that. I think that was a pretty easy win, actually. Butter Robot versus Unity. This is the first one that I got wrong, mostly because I just have an affinity for Butter Robot. After we spoke to we had the interview with the Butter Robot and those folks, and so I'm like, I want to give them credit. I want to go for Butter Robot, but it was actually Unity who won that first fight, and then Scary Terry versus Aberdolf Linkler. I called Scary Terry. I think Scary Terry, a lot of folks like Scary Terry, and so Scary Terry is the one who actually pulled it out. The next round, so it's Bird Person versus Antimaz Johnson. I knew Bird Person was going to win. That wasn't any kind of surprise to me. Although I love Antimaz Johnson, he wasn't gonna beat Bird Person, fan favorite. Even though Bird Person is Phoenix Person, it still wasn't gonna win out. Unity versus Scary Terry. Again, people like saying bitch a lot, so Scary Terry was there. There was no way. There was no way he was gonna lose. No way. So now it's Bird versus Scary Terry, or it wasn't. Scary Terry versus Aberdolf Linkler. I'm sorry, my bad. This then Bird Person versus Scary Terry. We're back at it. Bird Person for the win. Bird Person going to the semifinals versus who? Well, let's go ahead and bring it up. In the north, so the southwest bracket, we have Meeseeks versus Ventriloquist, Tammy versus Hemorrhage from the Mad Max era episode, Gwendolyn versus Revolio Clockberg Jr., Gearhead as he's sometimes known as, and then Cromulon versus Tony. Well, starting off with Meeseeks versus Ventriloquiver, did anybody ever think that Meeseeks would lose to a fairly unknown? We know who Ventriloquiver is from the superhero episode. I'm sorry, I brain fart. But against a Meeseeks, no, ain't gonna happen. Tammy versus Hemorrhage. You would think that everyone's dislike of Tammy would make her lose kind of by default. But she was actually pretty handily defeated Hemorrhage in that matchup. Gwendolyn versus Revolio Clockberg Jr. Now, this one is an upset for me. Because, first of all, Gwendolyn is the one who won. I had picked Revolio Clockberg Jr., but the actual percentage of who picked Gwendolyn on the Instagram, because after you voted, it'd show you what the percentage was. Gwendolyn won by it was like 69 to, whatever that extra math is. She won pretty easily. And so I was a little shocked by that. Yes, Gwendolyn beat Gearhead. Makes sense. Gearhead is like Gearhead would need a baby making robot. Maybe I don't know. I don't know in the Gear Wars if they're against that or for that. And then finally, Cromulon versus Tony. Although a lot of us like Tony, I like what you got, and you got to show me what you got. Cromulon's win. From there, Meeseeks versus Tammy, no contest. Meeseeks is going to win out very, very easily. And then Gwendolyn versus Cromulon. I had Cromulon moving on to the next round regardless, so I kind of predicted that. I didn't know he was going to go up against Gwendolyn, but he still moves forward. Then it's Meeseeks versus Cromulon. Well, looks like Meeseeks is gonna win that to the semifinal versus Bird Person. This is another one of my upsets because ultimately I had Bird Person winning out, going to the finals. Bird Person versus Meeseeks. I did think it was going to be Bird Person versus Meeseeks in the semifinals. I didn't pick the right one. So Meeseeks goes on to the finals in this bracket. Now on the northeast side of the house, we have Squanchy versus Slow Mobius, Storylord versus Mr. Goldenfold, Pencilvester versus Steely, and Snuffles versus Marsha. That's right, Marsha from Gazorpazorp. All right, starting off with this a little bit. Squanchy versus Slow Mobius. We know Slow Mobius is from the season 1 finale, Rixie business. He slows everything down. Squanchy also from that same episode that he premiered in that same episode. We like Squanchy. We maintain a love for Squanchy here. I just got a Squanch Pop, the one where he's the monster Squanch. He wins that little bit. Oops. Storylord versus Mr. Goldenfold. The Storylord we know from the train episode. Mr. Goldenfold we know from coprophagia counseling. Mr. Goldenfold wins this match. He's a master of his own storytelling. He doesn't need any Storylord to tell him how to live his life. So he wins that little match. Pencilvester versus Steely. Pencilvester is great. And how can you discount a guy who's shaped like a pencil? He easily defeats Steely in that matchup. And then finally, Snuffles versus Marsha. Snuffles, we knew that he was gonna eke it out against Marsha. He's a fan favorite. Everybody wants to see the return of Snuffles, even if it's in a cameo. And so he moves on to the next round, which leaves Squanchy versus Mr. Goldenfold. Sorry, Mr. Goldenfold. As awesome as Mr. Goldenfold is, and Mr. Dom Cobb, he loves Mr. Goldenfold. I wish Mr. Goldenfold all the best, and him going further. Of course, voiced by Brandon Johnson. My buddy, fellow Brandon in the house. He unfortunately does not win against Squanchy. Squanchy moves on to the next little bit. Pencilvester versus Snuffles. Again, Pencilvester is great, but Snuffles, again, fan favorite. Eventually we'll see Dog World. It'd be real quick, real easy. It's like it's a storyboard concept show. He moves on to the semi. He moves on to fight Squanchy. Squanchy wins this one out. Although, right? I think that's how. Yep, that's right. Squanchy won. We thought. Well, actually, let me double check that because. Yep, that's right. Snuffles loses out to Squanchy in that. Moving on to the semifinals, and the semifinals are as follows. It is Mr. Poopy Butthole versus Tickets Please Guy. This going into the north, the southeast bracket. Mr. Poopy Butthole versus Tickets Please Guy, again from the Trains episode. Jaguar versus Schleemy Pants. Schleemy Pants, who you may not know, is one of the time testicle beings from the season 2 premiere. Fart versus Gluty, Gluty and Noob Noob versus Dr. Wong from Pickle Rick. Mr. Poopy Butthole versus Tickets Please Guy. You know, it's no contest with Mr. Poopy Butthole. He's going to win that against Tickets Please Guy, who was just a very, very small role, although he had a lot of blood to spare. Jaguar versus Sleemy Pants. I don't think the casual fan necessarily knows who Sleemy Pants is. Even me explaining it, I had a half a second where I was like, it was that episode, right? Yeah. Jaguar from Pickle Rick. I think people are more familiar with that episode, even if they don't watch Rick and Morty regularly. So Jaguar moving up. Fart versus Gluty. Gluty is a newer character, but Fart has the benefit of being named Fart. And so I think even casual fans will let Fart slide. Moving him up. Finally, Noob Noob versus Dr. Wong. As much as I love Susan Sarandon and her takedown of Rick and that character, Noob Noob, I mean, goddamn, you know, he's just, I love him, and he needs. I want to see him succeed in life. That leaves next round, Poopy Butthole versus Jaguar. We've seen how badass Poopy Butthole is. I think that he would take down Jaguar. Really, it might be a tight race. It might be a tight fight. And I would love to see a Blood Dome Battle League for it. But I think Poopy Butthole would pull out the W in that case. And he did in this round. Fart versus Noob Noob. Although we love Jermaine Clement as the voice of Fart and Goodbye Moon Men, Noob Noob, I mean, we just do a lot of things for Noob Noob, right? He's a great character, and would like to see more of him in the future. He does in fact win that round, which then leaves before the quarterfinals, Mr. Poopy Butthole versus Noob Noob. They have a similarly shaped head, but Poopy Butthole's been with us longer. He's showed us the future. He's given us kind of optimism and hope. Recovering after Total Recall, having a family, getting fired from his professor gig. He wins, and he should win in that case. So, Mr. Poopy Butthole versus Squanchy. As much as I wanted Squanchy to win, you gotta go with the fan favorites, and Mr. Poopy Butthole is more well known, is probably more loved. We've seen him more often. He's got a special place in our heart, and he beats Squanchy pretty easily, which leads us into the final. And the final is, it is Mr. Meeseeks versus Mr. Poopy Butthole. And wouldn't you know it, who do you think won? If you said Meeseeks, you are not right. You are wrong, in fact. The ultimate winner is Mr. Poopy Butthole. He wins everything. I when it got to that point in time, I thought Meeseeks might eke it out, because when he beat Bird Person, I was like, oh shoot. Maybe I misjudged who will be the ultimate winner here. And I was happy when Mr. Poopy Butthole won. To clarify that I thought he won. A couple things. So after he won, we knew that there was going to be something at 10 o'clock on that Friday. And that 10 o'clock, it ended up being, I got on a stream, and I set up Adult Swim, and I'm looking just in case anything like special or like any announcements was going on. And WonderCon at Home was also going on that night. And so I'm like, I'm not trying to get my hopes up here. But that'd be kind of cool if they did something special or unique to celebrate this bracket, right? Well, at 10 o'clock to award Mr. Poopy Butthole, they played Total Recall on Adult Swim. That's what they did that night, and it's a good episode. I watched the whole thing. They didn't lead into the episode by saying, "Oh, hey, this is the win. We're winning. This is the winning character." They didn't do anything like that. It was actually till the first commercial break where they said, "You're watching the winner episode of the secondary character bracket, brought to you by PS5." And that was all they did. There was no other there was no other fanfare on social media, whether it was their Twitter or even somebody like posting something in the subreddit. There was nothing like that. So it was just kind of fell flat a little bit, which is something I'll get into just here in a minute about kind of comments and stuff like that. I mentioned some upsets. I feel like there weren't too many upsets in here. I wanna mention, so our folks watching in Twitch, old Matt Size Mode, best friend from old high schooly, he's asking. He doesn't watch Rick and Morty, and he refuses to. I don't know why. He hates me. Some best friend you are. But he asks, are these characters fighting each other, or how does this work? It was fan related. So I wanted to do a just write a brief script for each one of these matchups, but that would have made this podcast like 10 hours long. And nobody wants that. It was all on Instagram. It was all just clicking an Instagram story and saying, yes, I want this character over this character to win. But going back to my point about upsets, and there not being a lot of upsets. Part of why there weren't any upsets with these characters was the powerhouse characters, the ones that are just fan favorites, right? Squanch, Bird Person, Meeseeks, Poopy Butthole. Those characters are, they've almost ascended beyond a secondary character status, right? Travis and I talked about this on Messenger, and one of the things he said was, if you appear in more than 10 pieces of merch, maybe you shouldn't be in the bracket. And I think that's a really good point, because like were secondary characters that really are secondary characters, like Morty Jr. We didn't have Morty Jr. in there. Who else? April Linkler's in there. There's a couple others that really, like the Plutonians. There were no Plutonians. A lot of season 1 characters that kind of just didn't make an appearance. If more of those characters were in there and you took the powerhouse secondary characters, I think we would have had a more interesting series of brackets that we couldn't just like predict right off the bat. But I think too what Adult Swim was trying to do, or the marketing folks behind this, was, well, we want people who watch the show and maybe aren't tied to their lives don't revolve around the show. We want them to be involved, and if there's a bunch of characters that they don't know, then we gotta have Meeseeks in there. Everybody knows Meeseeks. We gotta have them as a position in the bracket. So I think they had to do that to a certain extent. We talked about maybe even if they had moved around some of the bracket spots. I think I said this to Travis, a Mr. Poopy Butthole versus Squanch early on in the bracket, not waiting till the quarterfinals to decide who is going to win, I think would make it a much interesting bracket, because you're pitting these two powerhouse characters up against each other early on, one of them getting knocked out, and then seeing who wins in the end. So inevitably, you're still gonna have Poopy Butthole win if he's going up against Gluty, right, or Noob. But you still give a chance for a little bit of variation and excitement within the bracket. So anyway, Total Recall, Mr. Poopy Butthole, he's who won. If you filled out a bracket, as I know Dom has, I know Dom did, because he was bugging me about not bugging me, but I said I was going to show the bracket and I never did, because I wanted content. I wanted to be able to talk about it on the show. But if you filled out a bracket, if you figured it out and you said, I filled out my bracket, I got them all right. I got every single one of them right. Let me know, because you are a better fan than I am. On the East Coast side of the house, I got them all right. It was all the stuff over on the West Coast with the Clockberg screwed everything up. If you got them all right, let me know at Rick and Morty Pod or at Barnyard Cruise if you want to follow me personally on Twitter. Okay, that is all I have for the Rick and Morty bracket, secondary character brackets. I have one little extra bit, and this is last time I did an episode, I reached out to Scary Terry Folds and I said, hey, what do you got? What do you got going on for Rick and Morty stuff? You know, is there any news or anything that you've heard of? And he said, hey, have you gone out and looked at some of the YouTube music and the fan made music? And I said, no, I haven't. And then I paused for a second. I said, yes, I have. Then I paused for a second. I said, not for a long time. And please don't screenshot those conversations, Scary, because you know and I know that that's not how it actually happened. But he sent me some links, and there are some really good remixes out there from folks. I want to highlight a couple of them. Not too long, but I want to play them. I want to play them for us. So first up, we have. It is the Rick and Morty fan-made music, the Wubba Lubba Dub Rick and Morty Season 1 remix. This is from Weeder76.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music. Morty, Rick, Morty, Rick and Morty.
Angela, Schmonathan, Summer,
Jerry,
Snowball.
Ants in my eyes, Johnson.
Winkler. Bird person.
Albert Einduch.
Shut up. What's bleeding to death? Someone call his wife and children. They're not robots, Rick. They're bureaucrats. I don't respect them.
Hard Scary Terry. Bitch.
And he sure says bitch a lot.
This is just sloppy craftsmanship. Do you really think this world is real?
All right, that was the first one. That's just that's a taste. That's a taste of Weeder76's Season 1 remix. Have a good day face in the chat. If you're not going to watch Season 1 of Rick and Morty, that is actually a good video because it goes over all the characters, all their great lines. I do highly recommend that. That link will be on in our show notes. The second song also has Wubba Lubba Dub Dub in it. The Wubba Lubba Dub Dub Rick and Morty song. This one, whereas the one we just listened to was a remix of all the different lines spoken by the voiceover artists. This is an original song, and this is an original song again by the account Groundbreaking.
In this reality, I messed up quite a ton, and I know I can turn back time or travel through all dimensions. But tell me, what's the point when multiverse is just my toy, when I can always run away from all the problems I have faced? I think we are lacking what makes us compassionate or so unjust. If you could really run
It starts to rock out here in a second. In a second. I guess this is rocking out, but okay, there's 2.5 more minutes left. All right, that was it. That was a second song, again by the account Groundbreaking. I'll have a link in the show notes for that if you wanna check out the complete song. Now, the last song that we have, it is by an account named Chitrio. This is a song, another remix similar to Weeder 76's. It is called A Really Long Time. It is a Rick and Morty remix. It's pretty good. Let me go pull that up. Again, Chitrio. Hopefully it's Chitrio. It looks like Chet Trio, but it's like cheat. I don't know. Chet from like Weird Science. Whatever.
What does this mean? This means nothing. Pull forward and park. Then say that, goddammit. Selfie, submit for the selfie. Selfie, I feel like he's earned a selfie. I'm not leaving without a selfie. Selfie, submit for the selfie. Selfie, am I getting a selfie? Ooh, what a season. Sorry I never showed up. Ooh, what did you do while you were away? Hopefully you didn't just waste your life. Ooh, see you for season 4 in like a really long time.
And there you go. There you go. Chet Trio or Cheat Trio, A Really Long Time Rick and Morty remix. That's more for like the mid 2000s pop punk fan who really likes that kind of that tempo and that distortion. You know, it feels like something we should get the Sum 41 to play after they cool down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, shout out to Scary Terry Folds again for hooking me up with those songs. Really a shout out to Weeder 76, Groundbreaking, and Chetrio for doing that. There's talent involved with it, whether you like the songs or not. It's a lot of hard work, and I'm consistently impressed as a budding musician, not even a great one, how people can put these things together with the video. And for the folks who are watching live, they got to watch the videos along with it. So again, shout out to them. Shout out to Scary Terry Folds for bringing those up. Shout out to all the folks, all of our fans out there in Twitch, especially Dom Cobb. Have a good day, Face. Jugglemino. Travis was in the chat for a minute. He was driving back from Target. He is no longer in the chat, but he was there for half a second. So shout out to them, and shout out to you, the fans who are still bearing with us. We're in this adventure together, waiting for season 5 of Rick and Morty and beyond. It's going to be great when it's here. When it's here, who knows? Maybe later this spring, early summer, or maybe we're waiting till fall. But rest assured, when it is here, we will be right there with you, listening, watching, and talking about the things you want to talk about and that you want to listen to here on Interdimensional RSS. I am Brandon Cruz, and if there's anything that you want us to cover, Rick and Morty wise, or just in general, we have our show Apathetic Enthusiasm. We talk about just about everything. Be sure to hit us up. Again, I'm at Barnyard Cruise on Twitter. Hit us up on Twitter at Rick and Morty Pod or Rick and Morty Podcast at gmail.com. And until next time, everybody, thank you so much for listening. I am Brandon Cruz, and we're out. I'm out. Unless you're in the Twitch feed, in which case, stick around. I have Vodka Tonic to finish, but I gotta wait till the song ends. But I can edit my voice out later. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me drink now. No, I'm not leaving, Matt. No, jeez, no. Now I can stop all this audio, and I can actually have a conversation with you. Let me go back to this. Here I am. Look at that. That was kind of cool, right? I put all these videos together. One video I didn't put together was, and I didn't talk about this. I meant to. There's a Rick and Morty Nintendo Zelda 3DS Justin Roiland signed unboxing, and actually, you know what? I'll put that here on the old boob tube. This dude paid $1,000 for a Nintendo Zelda 3DS signed by Justin Roiland. There was like 34 of them or something.
Here's what $1,000 buys. Morty ring. I'm assuming maybe some of the other 9 people got a Rick ring instead. Looks like a temporary tattoo or a decal. A Rick pin. And the 3DS. Looks like this one is 2 of 10. Looks like there's some slight wear on the box, but it hasn't been opened, so I'm guessing only the box has the artwork, not the actual 3DS itself.
And then he's got a letter. He's got a handwritten letter.
And then a note from Justin Roiland. Hey, you got one. This is literally one of around 34 3DS Zelda systems I got that inspired the dumb joke in the Parasite episode. I donated 40 2DS units to children's hospitals because I felt so bad for buying all these and contributing to the Nintendo supply-demand problem. Every detail Rick said was 100% accurate. Why did you buy this? What is wrong with you? Love, Justin Roiland, June 11th, 2018. All right, so that's it. Best $1,000 ever spent.
It seems like sarcasm. I don't know if it is sarcasm, but yeah, I barely want to spend $400 on an Xbox. So good on him. I'm very, very cheap. Hot diggity damn. Yeah. Hey, Dom, you mentioned the Animal Crossing video. I watched that not too long ago, and I thought to myself, oh, I should keep that in mind. But as I'm putting together show notes, I'm looking through Reddit, and I'm looking through Twitter, and I don't see anything right off the bat. And if it's beyond like 2 days, that I miss it. So if there's something that you see that just to be on the safe side, it's not that we haven't seen it, but sometimes we forget about it or we lose track of it. So you always bug us for it if you want. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I don't really have anywhere to be. Other than finishing I'm finishing my vodka. I'll put this on in the background just so we have some music, some mood music. Ask me some questions. Let me change this title, and I'll answer any question you want. Really, it doesn't have to be Rick and Morty related. Ask me a question, and I'll answer. That's now the title of the stream. Answer doesn't matter. The question. Oh. All right, there it is. Ask me a question and I'll answer. Doesn't matter. I'll move that up. I'll center it. Did latest season give me a new favorite episode? Shit. What happened in this last season? I don't think it gave me any new favorite episodes. the Tales from the Citadel was like the last one that I was like, whoa, really? Oh, well, I take that back. The the episode where Morty has the is kind of has the TV changer, the click bit, and he goes into Alive, and there's that whole wordless segment with the girl, and it's set to the Pixar kind of Ryan Elder generated music. It really felt like Up, right? That really kind of upbeat, and then gets to like a minor key, and then it's sad, but it still has that upbeatness behind that hope. And then Morty just getting wrecked because Jerry pressed the button. I thought that was a really, really good episode. And the Vat of Acid episode, that's right. That it is an Emmy award winning episode for a reason. So if I had to pick a top contender for new favorite episode, or a favorite episode for the season, that would be it, hands down. What about you? Would that would that fit into your definition of new favorite episode of the season? I also really like the Death Crystal episode. The Death Crystal episode and the Snake Planet episode. Those, God, shit. I might have come back. Vat of Acid is great. That up piece is great. I might go back to the Snake Jazz one. That I think, take it back. That one's top, because it has everything I love about Rick and Morty. It has pop culture commentary, and it has absurd situations, and it has Terminator. Everything I love about Rick and Morty. By the way, there's a Terminator pen and paper role playing game that is coming out pretty soon that I really want to play. No, I'm looking forward to that. See. Oh, vodka choice. Vodka choice. That's a good question. If I go to Winn-Dixie or Publix or any liquor store type place, I'm going to look for the deal, because I don't have a palate for vodka, because I'm mixing it with tonic and lime. Like, what I don't know. I'm not fancy. If we go to a bar and they're like, oh, what kind of vodka do you want? I'm like, bottom shelf. Like one time I bought a 1.75 liter bottle of vodka liqueur, which is just a fancy way of saying it's like it tastes like vodka, but it's not really vodka. But it was a big ass bottle, and it was like $8. And honestly, if you had me taste test, I don't think I would be able to tell the difference between that and Grey Goose. If I was asked to pick a fancy type of vodka, then I would I say fancy, right? But over a $20 bottle of something, then I would probably go with Grey Goose. But Smirnoff, I'm good with that. Smirnoff cotton candy. I like a Smirnoff cotton candy tonic. Yeah, vodka flavored liqueur. I honestly do not know how they made it. It was the same alcohol content percentage, so it was all right. It's all right. It tastes like this. Maybe not as watered down because I didn't drink anything the entire episode. Let's see. Ratio of the drink. Okay, all right. I'm getting to your questions one at a time as I'm going back to them. Let's see. So here's this glass, right? And this glass is it's a very small glass. I put about this much ice in here, which was a lot of ice. You can kind of see how much ice is in there, and it's all melting, right? I filled it to about there with vodka with all the ice. So not a whole lot. And then up to here with the vodka tonic. Now, what I have here I was expecting to drink more as we're talking. What I have here is a glass of. This was ice and vodka as well. This is just straight ice and vodka. Oh, and some lime. The ratio is much more. So that glass would fill it up to about yay or so. Pretty good. Oh, Kettle One. I already mentioned that I'm not good with flavor profiles, but I always see the Kettle One bottle, and I know this is a big thing with the shape of bottles. Like sometimes these bottles of anything look huge. I'm like, oh my god, there's a lot of liquid in that, and then I see a different bottle. It has the same volume in it, but it looks so much smaller, and it's like that, like in early math where it shows like a wide jar, and then it shows a tall jar, and the question is like, which one of these has more volume in it? And then inevitably everyone picks the wide one. Like, trick question, they have the same amount, and then you fail, and then you become a graphic designer. I don't know. I'm trying to think, not to shit on Travis's chosen degree plan. But yeah. Kettle One comes in like that, like a skinnier looking bottle, and so I'm always afraid of the skinny bottles. I'm afraid I'm not going to get the right amount of volume out of it. Anyway. Let's see. Matt went away. Let me let's see. He asked me, "You're leaving?" ? I don't think that's a valid question. Shoot me your questions. That's if it's on a delay. Just ask me a question and I'll answer. It doesn't matter. Do you want to know about this music that's playing? I don't think you do. I can mess with that live, actually. I can just fuck around with it live. What I should do is I should hook this up to video, and then hook it up to my Rodecaster Pro, which I can do, and then I can show you music live. Another thing that I could show you live eventually, once I'm not too ashamed to play music right in front of people, is I have this guy, it's audio interface, and then I have this tone pod, this Line 6 pod, which is pretty cool. It's it acts as a bunch of different amps, but it's really old. I got it back then, like 2003, and so the interface isn't. It doesn't come out with the best guitar sounds. Oh, and then of course I have my drum set back there, which also direct connects to the computer. One day I'll put all that stuff in there. Am I watching Supernatural? Yes, I am watching Supernatural still. I have not given that up yet. We are on season 5. Yes, season 5. It is a season where Sam and Dean are right now. It's the start of the season. We just started season 5. They split up. They went in their separate directions to take a vacation from each other. Dean is hanging out with Cass, the angel, the fallen angel, and Sam is being courted by Lucifer himself. So that's where we are in the series. Yeah, I want to talk about, just real quick, Flash, some CW shows, I guess, in general, and maybe it's probably not just a CW thing at all, but shows when you binge them, there's shows that are not meant to be binge watched. It's like The Flash, Smallville, Supernatural, I think, aren't really meant to be binged, because once you start binging them, then you start to see how whiny everybody ends up being, and like, okay, all right, stop being whiny. Let's get into the action. Let's get into this story piece. You start to recognize just how often these main characters are bitching and whining at each other, and that part's not fun. And I think like having a week or two in between an episode, I think really does a good job of making you forget that, okay, right, they're they're going to have another conversation about why are you doing this, and oh, what about Dad? Why you want to make Dad proud? And then the next episode, whoa, you don't love Dad? You don't want to follow his orders? And then the very next episode, you've got to follow Dad's orders, stuff like that. And then even between seasons, right? I think having a break in between a season gives you a little bit of reprieve from that, where again you kind of forget all that trivial stuff and all the crappy dialogue or repetitive dialogue, and you just remember, oh yeah, the story was really good. Oh, they're fighting vampires, or oh, what's going on with the angels? Like, you're excited going into the next season about like what that cliffhanger ended up being. Having said that, we're in season 5. The show has done a good job of kind of like gradually reinventing itself up till that point in time, but including a lot of aspects and characters and like earlier cues that is like it's solidifying the end of a series, right? You introduce stuff in the first act of a story, and if you introduce it in the first act of the story or throughout the story, then it should have some role to play at the end of the story. And season 5, and I thought this when I originally watched season 5, is it does a good job of bringing all those elements back together to tell a holistic story from start to finish. And I already told Chelsea, my wife, that I'm like, at the end of season 5, I think it like wraps everything up. It is a self-contained story of Supernatural, and I think that would be a great way to end the series. And my hesitance is knowing that there's 10 more seasons after this 5th season, that they're not, then it's like it's shark jumping from season 6 on, in the sense that they have to make new lore up as they go along, and almost if I'll take that back, like seasons 1 through 5, it's a story. It's like put this novel to the side, then 6 through 10 or whatever, 6 through 12, then this could be like part 2, and then start with in season 6 you start to introduce elements, and then that goes on to season 12, and then finish off all the way up into season 15. That's my problem is I don't, it seems weird to start off with a bunch of new lore and a bunch of new elements in season 6 going on. I don't know if that's true, because I periodically went to like Wikipedia and I would look up stuff in about Supernatural just to see what was going on in there, but never really caught up. Anyways, I still like the show. I'm gonna keep watching it, but with breaks in between. I'm about to move to Los Angeles, so I will have a forced break in between my Supernatural watching. And for you, the viewer, I won't be here. Travis is gonna have to do some solo podcasting. Sorry, Travis. You got to do it. I sacrificed. you can do it too. Going back to that introvert thing. There it is. Going back to that, right? Yeah, we'll go there. And let's play some music. Ask me a question. Ask me a question. Season 11. I mean, based off my rambling, my rambling issues with starting with season 6 and then continuing on for basically 9 more seasons, right? Is that an issue that is there? Is there an issue of like not having an overarching story anymore? Or are they just kind of like shooting at the hip? I'm interested in that aspect of it. And I'll take a sip while I wait. That was good. That was good stuff. All right. Well, while we're waiting. Okay. All right. So I spoke the true. That's good to know. Jeez. That's what I'm afraid of, man. That's what I'm afraid of. Another show we had made it a habit of watching The Simpsons on Disney Plus from the first season on, and we watched that pretty religiously all the way up until season 8, season 9, and then things started to get vague and in my memory of like we lost interest in it, and I don't know if that is a result of the quality of the show getting bad or if we just got tired of watching the Simpsons. It was, I think I recall the moment that I was like, oh, we don't need to watch, like I wasn't excited to watch anymore, and it was the one where they go to the steel workers, where Homer's afraid of gay people, and I think that was the moment where I said, I don't think this is a good episode. As a teenager, I thought it was a good episode, but I have the benefit of time to realize why that is an inappropriate episode. Oh yeah, I want to talk about more Marvel stuff. Got Black Widow, which depending on so Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going on right now, and if you've watched the things that are going on in that show in the second episode make me intrigued into knowing what's going on in Black Widow, that these things might tie into each other a little bit more than we were expecting. In Black Widow, it's supposed to have been released a long time ago, and so I'm intrigued to know if that was an original primer for the Falcon and Winter Soldier, for some of the concepts that it's introducing so far. And then they're like, well, it's okay if it comes out after the series airs because it still ties together thematically. I wonder if there's going to be a bit of that, because Black Widow will have Cold War aspects to it. So who knows? Who knows? We'll see. I want to see more. I'm happy with the series so far. I like that they are exploring things a little bit more in depth than the movies would have us explore. The WandaVision, exploring like grief and all that type of stuff, like really, really, really cool. And I can't spoil anything for Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think the things it is trying to explore is very much needed in the Marvel universe. Yeah. Uh, I I think WandaVision, as far as the bigger Marvel universe, I think that is I think that is doing um like introducing maybe like the bigger crisis, right? Start like laying the seeds for the bigger crisis that is inevitably going to happen in the Marvel universe. Uh, I think they're Doctor Strange too, right? The Multiverse of Madness. I think they're little chaos seeds being laid for the big crisis going on. Whereas the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, maybe Black Widow, I think those are some of the smaller conflicts that create relationships, break relationships that inevitably that will play into those big phased movies in the future. So, for example, the Winter Soldier, the movie, like Winter Soldier was introduced, and it wasn't about Thanos, right? It wasn't about the Infinity Stones at all. It was about relationships between Bucky, between Steve, and between Iron Man, right? And how those relationships broke down, and how it affected their ability as a team to come together later to fight the overarching big crisis, right? So in some ways, I feel that the Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow might be more along those types of stories that create these smaller conflicts that hinder our heroes from accomplishing the bigger heroics, so to speak. Big Bad comes out of Falcon to Fatwas. Yeah, big, like how big, right? Because Winter Soldier and the Falcon, they are not like they're not going toe to toe with Thanos. They're not going to go toe to toe with I was gonna say Shang Tsung. No, the Mandarin, right? They same thing with Black Widow. They are human, and because they're human, they have more limitations than I would say even Iron Man, right? Because he has a metal suit that makes him basically invulnerable except to plot. And so by that nature, they have to fight other human villains. So Baron Zemo, again, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, he was the villain in that, or sorry, Civil War, right? Civil War. And they need to be able to fight those types of big bads. Not to say Baron Zemo's not a big bad. In comics, he's a badass, but he's a different type of villain, and so I don't necessarily see them like introducing. I keep trying to think of like Krang, the Conqueror, right? Leave that up to Ant-Man in the Quantumania, or something out of Thor, God of Love and Thunder. So yeah, maybe they'll introduce Mephisto. As we get to the big three. Was it aliens, wizards, and monsters? I forget what the third one was. Music. You get me talking, and I forget about the music, and then it's just me talking. What I was thinking about this yesterday as I was at the comic store, and I saw a Super Scroll pop, and I was thinking, okay, well, we know the Skrulls are going to come back eventually, and we know that they in Captain Marvel they are introduced as not villains, which was a surprise for a lot of folks, right? At what point in time are they going to become villains? Because we know they have to be. And is that going to create like a secret invasion type storyline? Is that going to be a storyline that we're going to end up seeing eventually? I mean, the likely prediction is yes, we will see a storyline like that. But will they become big bads at some point in time? I'd like to see that. Maybe that's how the Fantastic Four get brought into it, right? As was the Super Skrulls or like weird Fantastic Four people. I don't know. I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know how all the threads tie all together. Like Agatha, I mean, I had to look up that character because I was like, is she a villain? I'm confused. Oh, hey, welcome back, Matt. Have a good day, Face. Welcome back. Have a good day, Face. Have a good day, Face's friend. We're gonna be voiceover stars, Matt. You and I. You and me. Me. You and me. Me and you. Oh. Yeah. Lots of stuff is going to come out of Doctor Strange. I'm glad Sam Raimi's helming it. Love that guy. Even the malign Spider-Man 3, there were some missteps there. I don't blame them all on him. I feel like the studio they're like, okay, we gave you your leash. We gave you your independence, and now here's your leash. Come back to us and do what we say. We need Venom in there. If you not shoehorn him in and give us a Topher Grace, and not that was the worst part of it. Is I shouldn't need to see Eddie Brock's face all the time. Show me Venom. He's what I want to see. And don't make him lean. Make him bulky. Just like Venom 2 coming out this fall. Yeah, exactly. His hands were tied. There's a new Evil Dead that Bruce Campbell has mentioned as coming out, just going into production. I don't think Sam Raimi's involved, although might be just in a production capacity or a producer capacity. We can talk about baseball opening day this Thursday. Do me a favor, since I know nothing about baseball, throw me some baseball facts, and then or topics of discussion about baseball, and then I will respond. I will respond to you in that way. P.S. Thank you. I dig my shirt as well. For those who are watching, Mystery Science Theater 3000. You can also check out Riff Tracks on Twitch. Maybe we'll raid them if they're on. So if you want me to talk about baseball, you have to, as they say in the business, you have to lob me some pitches. That way I can swing at them and knock them out of the park. We gotta softball. Just softball me some softballs. But don't actually throw me balls, because you know I can't catch. I can throw 5 to 10 feet. Okay. The Dodgers are heavily favored to win the World Series again this year. Oh, really? After adding to their... You spelled "there" wrong. Already outstanding starting rotation and bullpen. That is not a topic of discussion. You were saying a fact or an opinion. Like, is there a question there? You have to ask me a question. The title says "Ask me a question." It doesn't say I'm going to say an opinion, and then you respond to it. Favorite player, Brandon. Okay. My favorite player is Ken Griffey Jr. I don't know why. I don't know how. All I can say is this. In the mid-90s on the Super Nintendo, Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball was one of the baseball games that I played with my cousins. I went to my great-grandfather's house, and there was like a little side room where all my like really extended cousins, right? My great aunt's grandkids, we'd all get together, and somebody would bring a Super Nintendo, and Ken Griffey Baseball was one of those games that they brought. And I sucked at baseball games then, and things haven't changed since then. Baseball Wars, great NES game. I did it just to fight with people. Baseball Stars in the arcade, I played that a little bit in between. King of Monsters, I think, was one of the like those Neo Geo games in the arcade. But anyways, favorite team. Okay, favorite team. This one's easy. If I had to pick a favorite team in baseball, I'll go historically. I did a state report as a kid on Florida, and so my ties with being a Dolphins fan kind of started there. So Florida Marlins, I think like at the start I was like, oh yeah, Florida Marlins. And I'm doing a state report on Florida. Fan of the youth, Ponce de Leon. Yeah, it kind of ties with that. But then my grandfather is from New Mexico, and I have family in Colorado and New Mexico area, and so Colorado Rockies was up there for a while. I had a Rockies hat as a kid. And my grandfather lived in Colorado / New Mexico, so like Rockies. This is it. And then I moved away from California, and I started to bleed blue, whether or not I wanted to bleed or not. So I'm a Dodgers fan now. Okay, no, I don't want to say that. I am a Dodgers bandwagon out of stater. So they would be my favorite team based off of baseball, with the Rockies as a close second because of the familial ties. Okay. All right. That should answer that question. Okay, Matt. But San Diego made some big moves as well. They are the Dodgers' biggest challenger in the NL. With that being the National League, I know that. With that being said, who will win the National League West this year? Hopefully, those are both teams in the National League West. Obviously, it's going to be the Dodgers. The Padres, it's San Francisco. What team is San Diego? They're not going to win. It doesn't matter. Okay. Why Griffey? Oh, I just did. San Diego lacks pitching. Yeah, I agree, Dom. I definitely agree with the San Diego lacking pitching. Best young offense since the '97 Mariners. Agreed with that too. Seattle, the Submariner, Namor. He's kind of a dick, but really great team. What will it take for you to get Major League Baseball the show for Xbox now that's come to Microsoft for the first time in 10 years or so? What will it take for me to get it? It will take you to spend an extra $60 to buy it for me, because I am not buying that game, because I will get no value out of that game whatsoever. I might play it just as much as I played the last NBA 2K game that we played, which is to say, I played once with you. Deanne was on my team, I think, and then I lost. So yeah. So you buy it for me, and I'll play it, because then I owe you at that time. Rockies suck. Yes, Rockies suck. That's not a question. But I'm not into baseball for it, people being good. Like any Major League Soccer team that I watch, they all suck. They all suck, especially when you compare them to Barcelona or Real Madrid. Like, why would they suck? But I still like Galaxy. I still do. The Rapids. I still like those teams, even though they suck. All right. Helton was a monster. Yeah. He was also the head of the NRA for a little bit. Charlton Helton. Dom, you're purchasing the show. That's good. If you say baseball sucks for a long time, maybe Matt will buy it for you. Do you think there's any way you could ever find an interest in baseball, let alone a baseball game? You asked me this. I get asked this question by you, and in some ways it's just as fruitless for you to ask me this question as it is for me to ask you to watch Rick and Morty. In the sense that it's like you don't. Whereas I say that I'm not gonna be interested in baseball, and I continue not to have an interest in baseball, you won't watch Rick and Morty, even though you're like, oh, it's pretty good. I'll watch it someday. Like you taunt me with an optimism, a hope that you're gonna watch Rick and Morty. I never give you hope about baseball, and yet you still bug me about it. This the whole reason I'm talking about baseball right now is because you can't get over the fact that I do not like baseball that much. Unless I'm at the stadium and I'm drinking, and then I throw up in a planter after. That is how I enjoy baseball the best. Okay. Let's see. No, you have time. You always have time. You've put together stupid things like a griddle. Get a grill, man. You could have been watching Rick and Morty as you're building that griddle. I'm just saying, you have a mobile device. You can watch things as you're doing things. I'm just saying. Sabermetrics stat. Sabermetrics. Is that like from is that like the Oculus game, Beat Saber? The Sabermetrics? Is that a new thing? I will say this about Matt's last statement. He says he has zero time right now, and yet here he is, hanging out with us here in the Twitch chat. That's right. Have a good day, face. Hanging out in the Twitch chat. Maybe I'll just, God, if I wasn't worried about copyright violations, I would just make you watch this show right now. And I could do it, but copyright would kill me. Beat Sabermetrics. Why don't you get a grill, man? Get a grill with propane. Like, it doesn't have to be charcoal, but get an actual grill. You can put a griddle on a grill, Well, I mean, you already bought the griddle. I was actually surprised. I will say I was surprised. Matt sent me a picture of the big griddle he got, and I was like, oh, it's a big griddle. But for the size of that griddle, why didn't you just get a propane grill with propane accessories? That's a question. That's a question I have for him. Yeah. I mean, if I speed up an episode, well, I would stream it straight from Adult Swim, and so I wouldn't be able to speed it up. So no, I can't do that. But I wouldn't do it anyways because that's pirating, and we would love nothing more than to be actually official with Adult Swim, and I don't think that pirating is the way to do that. I don't think. It might be, but I don't think it is. I'm waiting for more griddle talk. Dom, you're there. Do you have a griddle? And if you don't, is it because why would you need a full-size griddle instead of a grill first? I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you get a completely different flavor from a griddle than you get from a grill. Okay. Now I got two big things. First, Matt, talking about propane griddle, do everything on it. Okay. You can do everything on it. Guess what? You can do everything on a grill and a griddle attachment. And you can get multiple different flavor profiles that you can't get from just a griddle alone. I'm sorry, you lose. Mr. Dom Cobb, best advice you were ever given to me. You're asking me that. I think the best advice I was ever given is that it was I went to a professional development thing a couple years back, and in this class there was a bunch of us. It was like a 6-week course, right? And so we all hung out with each other, and we all for about 4 of the weeks we're all about 10 of us in this class. And then for one of those 6 weeks, we go with a completely different group of people. So a completely different group of 10 people. And then after that week, you go back to your original 10 folks. And the point of that was to that week you did basically just a project with these new people. And the idea was you're meeting these new people, it's a new team. You're figuring out, you don't have time to figure out everybody's personality. You just have to take the information that you have. Sometimes you're going to get thrown into situations like this, and you have to solve a problem with folks. And you have to go through all the stages of team building, storming, forming, performing, and norming, or norming and performing. All that team building type of stuff, right? Over a week. And then afterwards, again, you go back to your original 10 people who you've established yourself with. You've already, you have an actual relationship with those 10 people at that point in time. I'm getting to your question here in a second. One of the things that they do is for both your original 10 and that 10 that you go to a different, for that 1 week, at the end of it, there are peer-based feedbacks with each other, and you go around the room and you say, here's what I thought about you. Here's some things I noticed about you, and you did this really well. You might work on this, or your communication, or paying attention, or whatever. And so the best advice I got was just kind of feedback. A lot of folks, they give me the feedback of, well, this about yourself, Brandon, but you joke a lot, and sometimes we don't know when to take you serious. So maybe if you you just, this again, this about yourself. Just try to be a little bit more serious sometimes. I'm like, okay, yeah, I do know this about myself. The first time I introduced you was just talking shit about myself, and we had to do like speeches, and then I did a funny speech, and the instructor just kind of glared at me, and then gave me the feedback like, this is not the time for this, Brandon. Okay, I learned my lesson. So there's that basic feedback. But the feedback that was really, really useful to me was it came out of that 1 week period. And the feedback was not that I joked too much. It was, you did a really good job of listening to everybody and bringing everybody together. Your problem is you need to be more confident about your ability to do these things. And so I think that is the best advice I've gotten is it's hard to want to be confident about things, right? Because if you tread the line about being too confident about yourself and what you can do, then you're pushing yourself into being cocky about something. And I abhor the thought of ever coming off as cocky or being better than what I am. And so I always introduce myself as being less, right? I disparage myself and belittle my abilities to people that I don't know when I first meet them, because it sets like a weird lower expectation for folks. It disarms them a little bit, and they're like, well, he's talking so much shit about himself that he's probably, that anything I do after that, then they're impressed by what I am actually capable of doing. And in a week period of time, that is not the most effective strategy, because there's not a lot of time to build up that trust in what I can do with new people, right? And I know I can do a lot of this stuff. I just need to be a little bit more confident in it. I don't have to be a dick. I just need to have faith that, you know what, I can do something, and I can do it. Maybe not well. But I can do it. Yeah, it'll pay off. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully that answered the question. Did I answer the question? I think I don't know. Whoever said I joke too much should jump off a building. Yeah. No, you shouldn't. I wouldn't joke about that either with them. If I joked about that with them, they might do it, and then I'd get in trouble. And I'd be like, no, it's just a joke. And they're like, it doesn't matter. He's dead. Or she, maybe. Either sex could be dead if I joked about it. So I just choose not to. Joke about that. Yeah. So that griddle dom, it's like it's basically the size of a grill. Yeah. It's not like this. Like I have a griddle that like sits on my stovetop. I'm good with that. But I'm not paying $350 for a griddle. I tell you what, a 1-story building, that's like what story would be in there, right? Would it be the Iliad, or would it be like if you give a mouse a cookie? That's a 1-story building, I think. If you give a mouse a cookie. Fuck your griddle. Now, my griddle sucks. It's very old. And I plug it in, and it was probably good at one point in time. Now you plug it in, and it's got a little knob to up the temperature. It doesn't maintain the temperature. So if you turn it to like 350, it'll get to 350, and then once it hits that temperature, then it will not maintain that temperature. It'll start dropping. And the only way to get it to heat up again is if you turn up the temperature a little bit, and then it'll go to 351. And then once it gets to 351, it'll start going down. Which is very, very counterintuitive to wanting to cook things at a constant temperature, like bacon, for example. You spent $200 for your griddle? Bruh. I don't understand. I don't understand griddles. I guess I don't understand griddles, So I'm gonna change this to explain to me why griddles are cool. And so much money. That is our new title for tonight's stream. $300. I'm if you can convince me that a griddle is worth $300, I will buy a griddle right now. Send me some links on Amazon or to Griddle's Emporium. Then let me know which one to get. Yeah, I read what you wrote about yours, and I wasn't impressed because you can do that on a grill with a griddle attachment. You're not convincing me with previously written statements. It's new. It's new. It's new. Convincing. All right. Hey, so I have work in the morning, and I still have to edit this podcast so I can release it. So, I'm going to start calling it. I'm gonna change the title to "I'm calling it soon." Calling it soon. La 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 la. By the way, if somebody has Apple CarPlay, send them a text and just say la 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 a lot, and Siri she goes crazy. She goes nuts, and and she does not like it. So please do that. It's fantastic. All right. With that in mind, everybody, thanks Dom for hanging out. The other 5 viewers in the chat, that includes Matt. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate all your time. And I will be back next week, I think, with another Apathetic Enthusiasm. Travis might be back. I'm not fully sure. He just got to Oklahoma today, so he might have a place to do some live streaming. Hopefully I don't have to do it worked out this time with my Mac, but I think once I start incorporating him, then I might have some issues again with the stream. But we'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, thanks again everybody for hanging out, and we'll see you next week or whenever I stream again. You are a second-class citizen, Matt. Bye.